Now we're going to begin the new shir. V'zehu she'omar osaf beruach hakedesh. The Rebbe has a footnote where he analyzes why it says v'zehu she'omar osaf, and I forgot what he says, but it has to do with the fact that Osaf was a navi that do with Golos. V'zehu aiktash gasa omar osaf. Osaf says beruach hakedesh ba'ad kol cleanses his soul on behalf of Klal Yisrael, but not stam Klal Yisrael, but Klal Yisrael she'begeil that are in Golos. Quote: V'ani bar, I am barren. V'lei eid, I do not know. I am like an animal with you. V'ani tomed imoch, and I am constantly with you. It's a pasuk that the Yidden in Golos, the same pasuk was quoted in Tanya Yudches to enlighten the idea of Yechida, to enlighten the idea of Yechida. Here he brings it to enlighten the idea of Asher Kitshanu. You and I may not feel the sanctity of mitzvahs, how we're separate from Ummah Ha'elam, and we're going to Chochmah and to Save of Kalam and all the goodies we said yesterday. But it doesn't matter. Claiming this means, though I'm animal-like, my relationship with you, and consequently, I don't know and don't feel in my soul, this special union, which I experienced when I learned to do mitzvahs. That should be filled with awe and fear first, which will then be followed up by a love of pleasure, like the flaming fire, which is a lower level of pashtus. Kemidas tzadikim, like is the case in the holy tzadikim. That since the material has been refined, the yifo experience atmos. It is known das uloshan hargosha b'nefesh. Das is from a terminology which means hargosha, to feel in the nefesh. V'ukeil chesed yevurid includes chesed nivud. Nevertheless, even though I'm not feeling it as tzadikim do. Now notice that he says yira before ahava, which is the classic method, in spite of what he said at the end of Perek Mem Gimel, that sometimes Ava is before Yira, usually it's Yira before Ava. And by Tzadikim it's Begila. Nevertheless, though I don't feel, I still am one with you all the time. Why? The material body and the basis of a person cannot hold back the special union of the soul with Ein Sof. Which is revealed in all the worlds. As the Pasuk says, darkness is not black and Lagabe Hashem. Though I'm not experiencing the Asher Kitshanu, you should know that Asher Kitshanu was very, very, very real. When this explains the severity of the punishment of Isam Malacha b'Shabbosis, the prohibition against doing work on Shabbos, and eating chametz on Pesach, which is the same for all people. Even in the souls of a Bur and Amaretz Gomer. Meir Eir Kedushas Shabbos v'Yom Tov, there is a revelation, the light and holiness of Shabbos v'Yom Tov, though he's not feeling it. And this is the reason why we need him in Avshei B'Kodesh. If a person fails to keep Shabbos, it's in from Kodesh. Uskila, Rachman Aslam, Tzeidin Vasra Skila, Kedushas for desecrating this, for making ordinary this holiness. What is the point? The point is you and I don't experience, but you should know the godliness is there. This is an answer to people who complain, how come Orthodoxy is so tedious with details? And the answer is Asher Kedeshanu b'mitzvaysev. These details are atzmos mamish. They're the favoritism of the Eibush has to call Yisrael, which is pillar ploim, half of a fellow l'malim didav agbal. The Gam, a second example he brings, is mashu chometz, a drop of chometz, or tiltul muktzah. If you move around muktzah, that even though muktzah only midrabanan and the halachas of muktzah are vestach hashvus, nevertheless pagan begedushas shal nafshi, one is desecrating the holiness on his spirit. Kmei begedushas nefesh hatzadik, as would be the holiness in the soul of a tzaddik who experiences this holiness. That a slight digression, distraction, interruption of the gili would be very painful. The same is true for us. We have one teda and one gili, even though we may not experience it. So we have a very gewaldige word. This idea of Asher Kedeshanu is true whether we feel it or not, and therefore mitzvahs and chider mitzvah and chumrah are so important. And this is we say, even though behemoth yisi imach v'ani tamid, but l'chayr it should say behema yisi imach. Mashakos of behemoth lashon rabbi. Why does it say behemoth in plural? So the Alter Rebbe bepashtus it should be behema, because each one of us we take a very, very great symbolic grubber jungen, but we're only one behemoth. We can't apply for two behemoth status. Why did it say behemoth? The fun of Yisbarach, as far as the Eibush is concerned, Gam Bechin is Das HaElyon, even the higher Madrega of Das, which the Alter Rebbe described earlier by Tzadikim. Hakel Chesed Gvur, which includes the word Nidma ke behemoth, is considered animal-like, Vasiya Gufness, and like physical deed, Legabi himself compared to Save of Kalam. Which because of what the pasuk says, Kulam b'Chochma Sisa, compared to the Eibush, the Chochma law is also Vasiya, like Alter Rebbe says in many places in Tanya. And therefore, V'nikra Behemoth Rab. We are behemoths, meaning to those of us who will not feel the kedusha of Atzilus are behemoths who don't feel anything. But even tzaddikim who do feel, compared to Atzma Saint Sof, what they're feeling is also a behemoth. No, but then it's a good behemoth. And in other places, it says something different. Who shame ban begematri behemoth, just the madrega of ban behemoth, shalifni Atzilus, which is above Atzilus. So the mashmos here is behemoth. Not only if you're holding in a madrega of Atzilus, are you a behemoth, even if you're holding in a madrega of Keseh shalifni Atzilus. Compared to Atzma Saint Sof, it's also even behemoth. So perhaps there's three behemoths here. Our behemoth, the behemoth of Atzilus, the behemoth of Keseh. Be that as it may, every one of us, whether those of us who feel, those of us don't feel, compared to what's actually happened, we do a mitzvah, we're behemoths of Yisi Imach. And the point is, Vani Tamadim, Jews are special. That's the whole chiddush of this Perekim Tanya. Jews are special.